Hey goblins,
Yes.
and welcome back. Today we're collabing. We are here with Vangalinaskov, here to talk about some people who have some impact on our community. Not necessarily the ones you might think. Today we'll be talking about someone who more has an impact on the eating disorder community and how that actually spills out onto a lot of other mental health community things.
Yeah, and my name is Sadie. I'm from the Acrylic system. I figure we should introduce ourselves.
I haven't introduced myself all day. This is Ulysses. I am from the Ether system.
Should I? Hi, Evangelina, Zan, whatever. Hello. I have several names. I'm one person. So this is unrelated, and I'm sorry, but I just need to say you are so much better at introductions to videos than I am. That was superb.
Thank you. I try. So, yeah, sensationalizing mental illnesses has been a really big thing lately, and it's been causing some issues, but it's been having a lot of impacts that people may not have been realizing. For example, you see these big YouTubers with like a million subscribers, and they're talking about these topics and preaching to very vulnerable, impressionable audiences, and that has a big impact on both people and then how the social media itself is handled, because YouTube has gotten really weird about eating disorders.
Yeah, YouTube has just sort of decided any sort of talk about that is just demonetized. You just can't do it. And we all know at this point, like, demonetization is sort of a ban on talking about something. So it's it seems to be, though, it's banned for people to talk about it, but it's not banned to be the person who is being talked about, if that makes sense.
Like if I put even eating disorders in the trigger warning list in a description, I can get demonetized. But this video, who knows?
I mean, it's a touchy one.
As
this this might be demonetized, but it's important to talk about, so there is that.
I figure maybe we can like put the trigger warnings on the screen instead of in the description, and then maybe we won't get demonetized.
You can hope and pray.
um,
I guess the asterisk works for that, maybe.
yeah,
True.
yeah. So we're actually talking about one particular YouTuber today, Eugenia.
Eugenia
Yeah.
Cooney.
Yes.
She makes me uncomfortable in general, but
Yeah. Yeah.
I actually, this is just to start off this topic. I showed my girlfriend a picture of Eugenia, and she's never seen her before because she doesn't follow YouTube stuff. And her jaw like fell because I think I'm so used to seeing her at this point. It just seems almost kind of normal. But she was like, "Oh my god, is she okay?" Like she was scared for her. So I don't know, but I think I've desensitized to it at this point because I can't unfollow her for some reason.
Like once you see these things in social media, you've seen the darkness, and you're like, oh yeah. But
But I think one of the issues with Eugenia, and it's kind of leading into that, is that she makes it seem sort of normal in a way because so many people are watching her and so many people love her, and just like it warps people's ideas of what is normal. Like back,
okay, we're back recording.
I forgot where we left off.
You were talking about an issue with Eugenia normalizing.
Yeah. So, like, looking at her, it just makes it seem like that's a normal thing to aspire to. So, years ago, when I was in the Pro Ana blogs and stuff like that, you'd go in there and you'd see loads of thin spo and you'd be like, oh my god, they're so thin, that's what I want to be. And then eventually you see it so many times that they don't look thin anymore, and you start looking at the bone spo pictures and you're like, oh, this is what I want to be. So it's just like completely warped her fans' perceptions probably of what is desirable to look like. I think in a way, I don't want to use the word desirable, but it's the first word that came to mind. I think you get what I mean.
What would you aspire to be, kind of? Yeah.
Yes. And it's weird though, because we also can't talk about it.
Yeah, she says things like her doctor says that she's healthy, and it's like, what's your doctor? Where are you going to get this information? She's giving these fashion shows with corsets that are loose on her and just acting like that's cool. Like, you just put on these clothes and stuff and just show your body to these children and just show them how to be. But she's a severe case, and she's making it seem like she just skips a salad here and there.
Yeah, I mean, like, the thing is as well, I have completely changed opinions on her recently, because originally I had said when I started covering her on my channel, I'd been saying, like, this is how this disorder works, she's sick, it's just better not to point it out to her. But the more I looked into it, the more it was like, okay, there is a level of accountability that needs to be taken, whether you are mentally ill or not. That she is a public figure. She is making it seem like she's okay, and she's actively telling people that she's fine. Which, whether she believes that or not, is a whole different situation. But like, it's a bit sketchy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it definitely like impacts other communities too, because like us in the d.i.d community, a lot of us have eating disorders, and it kind of
main comorbidities.
Yeah, it makes it kind of seem like normalized, and it's like, oh yes, this is normal, and that's bad for people's mental health when they're dealing with that themselves. And it's like, oh, that's normal, cool, I don't need help. Like, that's bad.
Think as well, maybe it's because, so there is, like, obviously it's very important that we don't vilify people for being mentally ill.
Yeah.
But then that translates to some people as not not ever calling people out on bad behaviors, or not ever trying to get people to change and things like that, which when it comes to eating disorders then becomes another problem on its own, because you don't want to say, oh, you're a bad person, because they're not, but they're also not healthy.
Yeah, and we actually talked about this in another collab, but having like toxic behavior or bad like influences doesn't necessarily mean you're a bad person. And taking accountability for what's going on in the world, in your world,
your range of influence.
It doesn't mean you're a bad person or anything, but it means that you're just like taking responsibility for it.
Well, if you take that like that message into Eugenia's situation, I don't think, at least, that she is a bad person. I don't think she's a bad person at all.
Not at all.
But it doesn't seem to me like she's making any effort to try and change her behavior or look at how it might be affecting other people, which obviously eating disorders can be a very self-absorbed sort of, that's not a nice word to use, but you know what I mean. It's all about your own perceptions of yourself. Yeah, that's a better way to put it. So it makes sense that she would just be thinking about how it's fueling her own disorder. But again, being a public figure, there has to be a point where she needs to sit down and think about it. And it's not like people haven't told her. Like, people commented all the time, people are telling her, her old friends told her. She doesn't really want to listen, I don't think. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's what it seems like to me.
Yeah, it seems like there's a lot of people who want to actively help her and are offering her help, but she's just like, oh, I'm fine, this is all right. Like, my doctor says I'm healthy, I feel fine. But you can see she's struggling to move. Like,
yeah,
healthy people don't do that.
I would love to know what that doctor said. Obviously, it's medical information, it's confidential, but did they say something like, I don't know, your organs aren't failing? She took that to mean that she's healthy.
Yeah.
Or maybe they said something like, I'm surprised at how healthy you are considering. Maybe something like that.
That
Mhm.
sounds quite likely.
Yeah. And I think it also goes into like public figures in general just need to be accountable for their audiences and what they're putting out to their audiences, because they, no matter what, we've gone over this a couple of times in several different videos, but no matter what, you gave yourself a platform, and now you're responsible for what you put on that platform and who you got to be aware of who your audience is, so you're not giving the wrong message to them.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I guess that would be like as an equivalent to the d.i.d thing. You can correct me if I'm wrong on this, but like if your system and you have a channel and you just say something like, oh, that terrible thing that we did last week, that's okay because somebody else did that, not me.
Mhm.
So it's fine. I feel like that would be sort of an example of that.
Yeah.
Maybe I am wrong.
Oh no,
But-
A little bit.
definitely.
That sounds about right.
Again, we went over that in another collab that we did yesterday.
So many collabs.
I know. We're doing a lot of them, just because starting off the new year and enjoying others and socialization, because we haven't had socialization in months.
It's been so bad.
Yeah, I feel that. It only hit me recently, so it took me a while to get bothered by it. So this is nice. But so how would you think it would be important for people to talk about it, like publicly, say on YouTube?
Like I'd say to like admit to themselves that they know something is off. Like be like, yes, I know. Like I'm going through this right now, guys. This is I'm aware of this. I'm working towards something. Like for example, for us, like we get comments all the time, like, "Oh my God, you guys are so skinny. Are you okay?" And it's like, yes, we're getting medical attention. We have appointments and stuff. We went and got the labs and stuff done. We're working on it, actively trying to get healthy again instead of just, oh no, I'm fine. Because who's gonna buy that, really?
Yeah. I mean, I guess what in Eugenia's case, it's because she isn't, more than likely, isn't getting any kind of help. So she can't say that she is really, but then I guess you can't admit either that you don't want to change, because that's also a terrible thing to say to people. Like, I don't see this as a problem. I don't want to do anything about it. That would also send a terrible message. But I don't know, just the sweeping it under the rug entirely and pretending it's not there. The only time she's ever slightly admitted it, and she didn't even fully say it, was I think it was the Shane Dawson video.
Yeah, I was watching that the other day.
Yeah, and she didn't really say her whole experience, which is fine. You know, she was in recovery at that time, and sometimes it's hard to talk about. But other than that, she's never acknowledged it. She's always said there's not a problem, and I think she might have said a couple of months ago that she's recovered.
Yeah, and that's just.
I express concern.
Yes, because that is not recovered.
No, and that just, I feel like that sends a difficult message to those who are also struggling with eating disorders and such, and they're seeing that and they're like, oh, she's fine, so it must not be that bad, I don't,
Mm-hmm.
Like the doctor says she's healthy, so I must be fine.
Next day you pass out.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and the thing is as well, it's kind of a weird situation because the more people talk about her and talk about her disorder and everything, the more it's gonna not encourage her, I guess encourage her to keep going because it's feeding that part of her brain. I'm just assuming, by the way, I don't know how it works for her, but talking eating disorders in general.
Sounds about
But
right.
then if you don't talk about her and don't say what the issue is, then we all just pretend that it's perfectly normal and fine, and then other people get affected. But by her staying on the platform and continuing to do this, people are also affected. So it feels like no matter what you do, it's just a mess.
Yeah, and if you say anything with anyone's name in it, you're a bully.
Oh yes, there is that.
Yeah. And I think we need to get rid of the idea that putting somebody's name in the title is using it for clout, to be honest, because like while that can be the idea, you're also not clickbaiting it if you've actually talked about them in the video.
If they are the topic.
Yeah, I spoke a little bit about this in a collab that I did yesterday. See, I'm doing collabs too. But I think we had said like the reason sort of for people saying it's bullying is because they just start parroting what those creators have said. So if a specific creator says people are bullying me, people are out to get me, people are just hating for no reason, their fans will just accept that and then go on to every video that mentions that person, be like, you're bullying them, even if that's not what's happening. So, but like commentary is allowed, and your rat is so cute. Just climbing. Oh, I love them.
That is Summer.
They're the cutest rat babies. I don't know if Winter was in this video, but
I don't think so.
No.
She's on top of the cage.
Yeah.
She's just vibing.
We're just chilling out together.
I love them. I'm going to steal them.
Yeah. Yeah, people really are very quick to label things as bullying that isn't necessarily bullying. Like, I'm gonna make a video about how I was a bully in high school, and I'm gonna own up to that.
You really should just explain the difference to people, because critical analysis and feedback and any kind of criticism, once it's conveyed in a nice way, it doesn't even have to be nice, just in a neutral way, is not bullying in any way. Like if I do you swear on your channel?
Yes.
Oh yeah. So
okay. I couldn't remember. Sorry. If I came up with a video that I was like, hey, they're cunts, it could be construed as bullying.
Right.
Possibly. It's not the most severe form of it, but it could be. I think I've said that about Gabby Hanna. Maybe I am a bully. But yeah, saying like, I don't know, about Eugenia Cooney, she needs some help. This is not okay. She shouldn't be posting these videos. That's not bullying, that's concern and criticism of the content she makes and how it's affecting people.
Yeah, because we actually have a video that we're going to be making, bullying versus criticism / concern. And like that's one of the main topics that we really want to do because of everything lately that's been going on in all the communities, really.
Oh yeah.
It's an important topic. I think people need to learn that one quickly.
Well, also everyone's in quarantine and nobody's getting out and doing anything, so they just there's a lot of stuff that is going on in people's mental health brains that just get construed onto people, I feel like.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's a very stressful time. It doesn't help that a lot of the drama that went on, like very big dramas this year, were at a time when everybody was very stressed. So
yeah,
like I think didn't the whole thing with Eugenia and her mods that came out in the summer when everybody was sorry for the bang, when everybody was just out of their minds from being stuck in lockdown for however long.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that happened this summer. Then Shane Dawson came out with his fake apology and then dissociated. And oh man, it's just 2020 was not a good year for any drama at all.
It's been a time.
Oh yeah. Oh. Yeah, I don't even know what happened in 2020. I swear, I skipped a lot of that.
Just dissociated.
Things definitely happened.
Just dissociated through the year.
You gotta. I don't mean that, by the way. I'm not promoting trying to dissociate. Just to clear that up, people don't know when I'm joking a lot of the time, so I feel it's better to just explain. People got mad at me the other day for saying that people who celebrated Christmas shouldn't have a nice Saturday.
Okay, but how can you know you and think that's not a joke?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I don't want to judge because maybe there's reasons for it, but also I feel like that was clearly a joke. But I've said a lot of
was
other things that
definitely
people...
clearly a joke.
Thing is, like, I celebrate Christmas, and I had a nice Saturday after that. I think, possibly, I don't really remember. Don't know why I'm pretending to remember Christmas. That was like 3 years ago. That went off topic.
What was Christmas like? But it does make sense, yeah. Oh, Jesus, I forgot how that connected. I had that connection right good in my mind. Oh, yeah. Damn it. I'm sorry. Continue.
I don't know. Me continue. Was I in the middle of a sentence?
No, we got way off topic. We're supposed to be talking about Eugenia, and we got onto Christmas and bullying.
And then I had a good way on how it loops back. Dang it. I think it was about bullying and people. Oh, yeah. People taking things too literally. Yes. And people not doing disclaimers and stuff. Disclaimers are really... I've been seeing that so much lately, especially in the d.i.d community. These smaller channels are basically reading this disclaimer copy paste, basically saying we're not professionals, don't prolong professional care. If you see something in this video, like, we're not professionals, we can't replace therapy. And I'm like, I don't see how anyone could actually assume that. I'm a college dropout. Like, if people are taking my word as Bible, like, I'm a YouTuber. Take it with a grain of salt. This is my case, not your case. This is my brain, not your brain.
I feel like I want to have a disclaimer that just says nobody should listen to anything that I say ever.
Tempting.
It's like a South Park-esque kind of intro.
This content is not meant to be viewed by anyone.
But I feel like it's kind of sad because everyone has in the community has started doing that because of the dissociative shit.
I think it would be because of the one more recent, but
no, because they started doing that before
those things.
Yeah.
It's gotten worse recently because of just a couple of people. Couldn't think of who they are off the top of my head, but I think it started. I think it started with dissociative, and I don't know who was the first person to like call them out on that. I know Cringy's talked a lot about it, but like about the you're not actually a mental health professional. Stop saying that.
Yeah.
So
still making Instagram posts trying to be now.
Yeah, they're like running themselves like a business, and it makes me mad.
Can I diverge a little bit just to say, oh my god, the testimonial? The testimonial.
It's like, who are you trying to do this to? Are we a jury now?
I think I saw that like first thing in the morning, and I was not even awake, and I was just crying. I was like, this is amazing. But like the businessy stuff mixed with the selfies, it's like, which are you doing? What are you, a company or are you an influencer? I can't tell. But the testimonial was amazing. I just love that. I don't. It's so gross. Anyway.
Yeah. But yeah.
Time to stop.
Sorry about that noise. I punched my microphone.
You're fine.
I drop things all the time. I think I knocked the camera over when I was filming the other day.
It happens. It happens.
Oh yeah.
But on the topic of disclaimers, maybe that would be something that ideally Eugenia could do. Like a disclaimer, like I guess you can't really say this is not a normal body weight or something. That's something anyway that just says,
like, my case does not apply to everyone's. This is my experiences. Even just like a little title card, just being like, this is my experiences. I'm not a professional. Please pay attention to what your personal needs are.
Yeah,
like consult a doctor.
We're asking for the bare minimum at this point.
Yeah, like anything just to be like, this really isn't normal, and it shouldn't be considered normal.
Yeah,
you know.
It's just very, I don't know, because if you call her out on it, and it's not even calling her out, like that sounds really aggressive, but even in a non-aggressive way, it's just construed as like talking down on people who have disordered eating when it's not. It's trying to look out for other people, and like in this case, asking for a disclaimer. Some people might still be mad, like, hey, you can't ask for that, you know, she's struggling and this and that, but like that is, I think, the least you could do in that situation is just
Especially when you're
say,
an
listen
online
to your doctor.
presence with such a big following.
She has a million followers. She can create a little title card on PixArt. It takes 5 minutes.
And like her you know, her following is mostly teenagers struggling with body weight issues. Like that's what's upsetting about all of it.
Yeah, I mean, I even know in my experience, I only watch her videos when there's a drama that I'm covering or I'm struggling myself and I'm just like watching it to make things worse.
Mhm.
Like, those are the only times I'll watch her content. And I think for a lot of people, well, just the latter is why they watch, just to.
Yeah.
I think that relates back to our original point on it impacting not just the eating disorder community, but mental health community, the d.i.d community. Like people watch that to feel worse about themselves, or you know, whatever,
or to try to feel better about themselves. But a lot of times that doesn't actually end up being what happens with those kind of things that people get into.
Yeah. Here's a sort of a controversial question.
Mhm.
Do you think that her videos and her Instagram posts are body checks?
That does raise a good question, because, like, you know, what they are to her could be completely something different than what they are to her audience or what she portrays them as. Because for her, she could be like, yeah, this is me checking in on me, but to my following, I'm just posting a cute outfit, you know.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people discuss it about, you know, she's just body checking and stuff like that. And in some of her videos, it seems like that is what she's doing. You know, the like that video that came out last year, the year before, What is Time? The one that raised the huge amount of concern, I think it was Kingdom Hearts cosplay or something. And she was like putting her hands around her leg or something. She had like a, maybe I'm remembering it wrong. She had like a belt thingy on her leg. I can't think of the word. And it was just falling down and she kept picking it up. And so it could be to her just a cosplay video, or it could be, hey, let me see how I'm progressing, for lack of a better word.
And I think it's really hard to tell because she doesn't speak about it at all. Like, who's to say if it is a body check or if it's just her playing down whatever's going on with her, or, you know, because she doesn't talk about it ever.
She doesn't talk about what the mental illness is. She just shows the effects.
I mean, like, I think it's important to say as well, I'm not asking, and I don't think you guys are asking for her to divulge every single part of her own personal experience, because that's nobody's business. But it is important to point out that it's not normal and it's not healthy. Just for the sake of her audience, not even for her. And here's the weird thing. I think it is important to look out for her mental health, but there are also hundreds of thousands of people watching that thing who, I don't know, do we need to look after them first? Because that's so many people consuming that content.
Yeah.
It's kind of,
it's the argument of the needs of the few versus the needs of the many. And like, how do you balance that out? Which I feel like just a little short. You know, this isn't a normal, like we've been saying, you know, this isn't a normal body weight. You shouldn't strive for this particular, you know, body weight. This is just how my life is, or something. Like, even that would be better than nothing, because then at least, you know, she's saying to her very young audience, if you scroll the comment section in any of her videos, you can tell. But it at least gives something to the young audience to be like, oh, I should maybe not do this.
Yeah. And especially, again, I know we already said it, but the like, listen to your doctor bit would just be great. Just to have it there. Because you don't even know if maybe somebody doesn't even consider that. You don't know what goes through people's heads. So maybe just having that there in front of them would be like, oh, well, maybe I should, especially if they look up to Eugenia so much. They'll be like, well, she says I should do it, so I'm going to do it.
That could have positive impact, encouraging people to go see doctors. Like, she could do a lot with her content. Like, you know, being someone who pushes people with eating disorders to treat themselves well and not to brush everything under the rug.
Yeah. That's just the main message of it, isn't it? Just like we should be able to talk about it
Mm-hmm.
in a healthy, neutral, non-judgmental way.
Exactly.
And things aren't
Where do
inherently bullying.
Yes, concern is okay, and it can be a positive thing to help positive changes. It doesn't mean that you're trying to cancel somebody.
Yes.
Right. Speaking out about something does not mean you're trying to cancel it. It means you are speaking about it.
Yes.
All right. Well, we just about covered all of the bullet points that we had to talk about today. Like and subscribe to become a goblin. You should probably hit the notification bell so you know what we're up to. Please check the description for links, more information, the trigger warning list, which we put the slide for at the beginning of the video.
Vangalina's channel.
Vangalina's channel. Got plenty
Hello.
of great videos. Lots of other videos with other d.i.d content creators. Bobo and Co., Fragmented Psyche, Entropy System, bunch of others. Great time, great channel. And I think that's all we had. So
Yeah.
thank you all for tuning in, and we will see you all
In the next video.